Sorry, I'm reading. So I was just editing this video and I just wanted to put a little disclaimer before it starts. I had taken a caffeine pill before I had started filming because I was having a really bad headache, and the only thing that helps my head is caffeine pills. Really weird. So I seem like a crackhead in the video. I sincerely apologize for that, but like I'm like jumping around and jittery, and I also haven't sat down and filmed like this in a long time, so I apologize for my crackhead energy. I'm normally not that jumpy and jittery, so you can see me start to calm down and crash as the video goes on because the caffeine pill, like you crash after like 2 hours of having a caffeine pill. So yeah, but so sorry. Hope y'all enjoy the video. Understand if you don't, or click out, because I do have such crackhead energy. I want to slap myself in the face multiple times throughout the video, but hope you'll enjoy. Hey y'all, so I'm going to be doing a different type of video on my channel. I've never filmed like a makeup review video before, but I thought that it was just something that I'd like to try and see if it gets any good reception, or like I don't really care about that. I just do what I'm kind of feeling. I am also filming a reading vlog that will be up soon, hopefully by the middle of next week. So I've been filming a lot, and I also am going to rank all of the books that I read in 2020 from the worst to the best type of thing. So, or I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna organize that video. So yeah, or I'm gonna do like top 5 best books, top 5 worst books, and just make that video. So, but now we are going to be, as you can tell from the title, be reviewing the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation and the concealer. I just got this in the mail, and I'm gonna be reviewing quite a bit of foundations. Now, I have never tried these. I have tried the other foundations, but I'm still wanting to review them. And one that you need to be looking forward to is the Hourglass Vanishing Stick Foundation review that I'm going to be doing. I've worn this once, but I'm waiting for the brush to get here so I can review it. This was hella expensive, I'm not gonna lie, but only thing I really spend a lot of money on is books, skincare, and complexion products from the drugstore. Or I mean, not from the drugstore, but from like high-end things. Now with foundation, I always get asked what foundations I use, but I use several different foundations. Like every time I put makeup on, I'm like a collector of foundation. So I want to start reviewing them. What makes my foundation lay well is skincare complexions. Now I am breaking out, like I had a breakout here, it's going away, and here, but they're going away. And then I just have some scarring. This one's new. I had a Crohn's flare, so and speaking of Crohn's, it is Crohn's Awareness Month, and I have my I Hate My Guts Crohn Awareness shirt on. Crohn's disease, when you flare, you have breakouts. You can see on my neck, have it down my chest as well, but we won't flash the audience. I'm gonna show you some skincare products that I use before I put this on. The first thing I'm going to use is the Kiehl's Vital Skin Strengthening Super Serum, which is hyaluronic acid. It has a lot of that in it. I just do 2 pumps of this. It's almost gone. I use like this like crazy. So just put this, always put it down your neck too. By the way, before we really get into the video, I am dry skin type. I have horrible dry skin, like it can peel. So I moisturize several times a day and use a lot of hydrating products. And the next thing I'm going to use is the Josie Maran Argan Bright Skin Vitamin C Serum. This is one of my favorite products ever. I have gone through probably 4 bottles of this, maybe 5, I can't remember. But you just squirt that. This stuff smells amazing. It smells like the sun. And I don't even know what the sun smells like, but that's what, if I had to imagine the sun had a smell, this is what the sun would smell like. Then the next thing I'm going to use, always use sunscreen, by the way. So I'm using the Tatcha sunscreen. I've gone through 2 bottles of this as well. I need to buy another one. This stuff evaporates into your skin. Normally sunscreen, I use the First Aid Beauty sunscreen as well, but it gives me this white cast and makes me look kind of gray for like 20 minutes. Also, I would normally let this sit on my skin for about 20-30 minutes, like in the mornings I put on my skincare. It's nighttime right now. I put on my skincare in the morning, then I go like have my breakfast, or I have a smoothie or a protein shake and drink that, get on my phone, maybe like answer some emails, or like drink some coffee even. If I can drink coffee that day, it depends on if my Crohn's is really badly flared up. Next thing I'm doing is taking the Milk Vegan Milk Moisturizer. This stuff is so good. It's so good that I've almost used all of it, and I'd like to get more. I love this stuff. It's so thick, and it's really moisturizing. It feels amazing. And also, I'm going to get into what my undertones are. I am very, very pale, if you can't tell. I don't know if it shows on camera how pale I am, but like my perfect match of foundation is Rihanna's Fenty foundation in the shade 100. I was so sad when it first came out because it was the matte foundation and I could not wear it. Like I would mix it with a hydrating foundation, and then when the hydrating foundation came out, I used that for like a year solid because it's the only foundation that matches me so far that I found. The Hourglass foundation matches me perfectly too. I found another one, but before Rihanna, I didn't have a foundation that matched me perfectly. Now, it was not the same as like women of color who have really deep skin complexions, or have, even with women of color, even if you were like a medium deep, you still couldn't find a foundation for you. It was really only for like white women or women that had more tan complexions, maybe light-skinned black women, or light-skinned Hispanic women, light-skinned Asian women. But on the other side of the spectrum, now I always could find things that I could make work. Like I always have been able to. I just have to carry it down my neck. I'd have to like put it on my hands and stuff. And if I was wearing short sleeves, I'd even put foundation on my arms because I just couldn't. So it wasn't the same because I could always find something to make it work. God bless Rihanna because she gave us foundation, because it was basically telling me my whole life that I wasn't pretty on my own. Like there wasn't makeup out there for me because I wasn't pretty enough. But they didn't exclude my race as a whole, so it's not the same. I went to the tanning bed twice and it scared me because of skin cancer and stuff, and I already have so many health problems that I just was terrified. And also I know it causes aging and premature wrinkles. I've already got dry skin that cracks and bleeds and all that, so I didn't need it. Next thing is priming your skin, and I use primer more for hydrating purposes and also to help my foundation lay. So I do believe in primers. First thing I use is a primer water. So I use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. I just recently bought this and it smells like my Uncle Will's house in the summer. Go swimming. And it was sunscreen and alcohol, and now the kids wouldn't drink alcohol, but I mean, I'm 23 now, so alcohol and like the chlorine, like I don't know, it just reminds me of being at the beach or being at my Uncle Will's house. It just smells, it's one of my favorite smells. It's very nostalgic for me. Like I spray this on my skin several times a day as a refresher because it's also a refresher spray. So I use several primers, by the way. I'm just gonna get my fan. So I just have this fan from Amazon that I use to dry my skin. And I'm gonna do a little bit of a test wear to see how this wears throughout the night. Now it's 9:30 at night, but I don't go to sleep until around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I wake up at like 6. I've got some sleep issues. I sleep about 3 to 4 hours a night. Next, I'm taking the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, and I'm just using this to fill in my pores. And I just put this on my nose, and that's it. Only place I put that at. And then my favorite primer, along with the priming spray, but this primer I have bought 3 bottles of, and that is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. And I just do 2 pumps of that, and it's so hydrating, but it's also gripping. It makes the foundation last all day. I do notice a difference in the durability of the foundation and the longevity when I don't wear this or I forget to put it on. We have got the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Foundation. I'm going to read off the claims of this foundation, the undertone of the shade that I bought. And also I'm going to do half of my face with a brush and then the other half with a sponge. Here on their website, it says, this skin perfecting medium buildable coverage foundation creates a healthy skin-like finish. Get coverage and hydration with the same good for you ingredients like hyaluronic acid, that will be good for my dry skin, for your healthiest looking skin ever. I am in the shade Fair 03C, and the finish is natural. There is 1 fluid ounce of product in this bottle. This is what's inside. You have the Hydra Fresh Complex formulated with fruit extracts to enhance the look of skin by instantly hydrating and diminishing the look of fine lines while delivering hydration over time. Then we have hyaluronic acid, well known to attract 1,000 times its weight in water. Coconut water, known to formulate or support hydration and skin softness. So I'm really excited to try this. Application tips. Let's see what they say about this. Prep your skin for a pretty fresh hyaluronic acid. So I've done that. I prep my skin a lot. You just watched it, like 10 minutes worth of prep. Works well over any primer, sunscreen, or moisturizer. We did all 3 of those. And it says to do a hydrating primer. We did that. I'm going to show you how I do the rest of my face makeup as well. I'm in Fair 03C. This is cool foundation for very fair skin tones. So, like, I'm gonna apply it to my chest first. See, I have like a neutral undertone, also pink undertones. That's what it looks like on. Hopefully it matches. Like I said, I'm gonna do half side sponge, half side brush. We'll start with the brush first. So I'm just gonna spray this on the palm. I'm just gonna start off with 1 pump and see how far that gets me. Sorry, you guys. My mom is dreaming.
Sorry, I forgot you.
Anyways, so she's having a dream. So sorry, she's asleep on the couch. So I'm starting off with 1 pump, and that actually gave me a lot of product. So let's see how far it goes. I'm just gonna. Oh, it's very moisturizing. I can tell. It's very watery. Haven't seen any reviews on this, even though it's been out for a while. Oh yeah, this is gonna match me. This is gonna be a perfect match. Oh, I'm so excited. So far, the coverage is good. I like how it's laying. It's covering up those zits really well. And I pick my eyebrows. I have something called trichotillomania. It is an anxiety disorder. I have horrible anxiety. I started doing it when I was in 4th grade. So my eyebrows are not, I have very full, beautiful eyebrows. One of my favorite features about myself, but I cannot control that, unfortunately. Here is how it looks. I'm gonna get close up. I do not do filters on my cameras. I'm gonna try to turn my ring light down a bit. So here's how it looks close up. It is medium coverage. I'm gonna see how buildable it is. Let's see, apply it to the areas that are problematic right now for me. It is, I feel like it's mattifying. It feels like it's setting as like, I don't know, I don't feel like it's very moisturizing. It was watery, it had a watery base, but I don't feel like I don't think it's very buildable. It's not as hydrating as I like it, but I use the Fenty hydrating foundation, and that is very hydrating, but I have very, very dry skin. It's got a glow for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna do another pump. That pump went pretty far. It covered half of my face, and I also was able to build with it, so I'm gonna do another pump. I love how much that does. So now I'm gonna use my Real Technique sponge. I'm just gonna spray some of my Smashbox primer. Sponge soaks up a lot of the product. Now, I've never tried a Colourpop product before. Never tried their foundation, or their other foundations, their eyeshadows, or anything. So that's not covering up. Yeah, you can tell that this has better coverage than this because it's peeking through some of my redness here. But I do think it's very skin-like. I do think that. I'm just gonna spread it over here a bit because I do always, even if I'm doing the brush with the foundation, I always go over it with a sponge. See, I feel like it matches very well, like I'm very red, but it matches. It's a very good match. Sorry, my lips are so red. It's also very warm in my house. Our fireplace is on, but yeah. So this is the finishing product. So regarding application, I actually think I like the sponge side better than the brush side. I do really like the brush or the sponge side better. Even though it gives you better coverage, it's more buildable this way and there's no streaks. So I'm gonna turn it down again. And this is how it looks just with no special lighting. Here, actually, let me just turn my ring light completely off. So yeah, looks like this. It's very dewy, as you can see. So I thought it was mattifying, but I think it was just the brush. I love the finish with the sponge so much better. It's much more dewy than with this side. So yeah, it's much better. This is the lowest setting on my ring light, but I like it a lot. It's very affordable, by the way. It retails for $16, so it's a very affordable foundation. We're gonna see how it wears throughout the night. Now I'm going to talk about the concealer. Let me turn this back up. So now I have the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer, and it is the lightest shade, by the way. This is in Fair 07C. So let's hear the claims for this. This creamy, cushiony, full coverage concealer seamlessly blends into the skin, leaving a natural, fresh finish. Skin-loving hyaluronic acid, coconut water hydrate the skin, while full coverage pigments cover and corrects blemishes. This combo leaves you with fresh, perfected skin that lasts all day, oil-free, dermatologist tested, and ideal for all skin types. It says the finish is natural. There is 0.30 ounces of product in here, and it says that hyaluronic acid and coconut water is inside. So it says it's full coverage. It's a lightweight concealer, but it's full coverage. Let us try this. And like I said, this is the fairest shade, and I like it to be a highlight shade. So my mom is so fucking crazy. I swear to you guys, I'm so Ooh, this one has an interesting smell. It's not a bad one. It smells like something and I can't think of what. Oh, I forgot to put this primer on. I normally put on my Fenty Beauty primer as well. I use like 5 different primers. I know I probably shouldn't, but I really like to prep my skin. I put it on here. Just do like a boat. This application is tiny and flat. I do prefer a more doe foot applicator, like in the L'Oreal Infallible concealer. So I'll put some there. Put some on my chin. And they say this is full coverage. And then I like to put it here. And I like to let my foundations or my concealer sit. So I'm actually gonna do my brows real quick. I like to let my concealer sit and dry down a bit. It gives it better coverage. Jackie Aina taught me that. Jackie Aina is probably my favorite beauty guru ever. She is my favorite beauty guru ever. Her, Raw Beauty Christine, Nima Tang, Alyssa, Ashley, and Arnell. I love them. Blair Fowler and Elle Fowler, they retired, so. Oh, this is the NYX professional makeup micro brow pencil, and this is in the shade Espresso. I get black sometimes because I do have very dark hair. Now, I don't outline my brows, I just fill them in because, like I said, I pick them, so I just fill them in. It's already got the outline there for me. And also, if I want to clean this up with some concealer, I can do that. And I'm not all about the perfect brow. I just am about getting it filled in. I've been filling in my eyebrows since the 4th grade because I picked them so bad and I get made fun of a lot. Now, I've wanted to try the potted eyebrow stuff. It's in NYX. I've been watching Juicy, what's her name? Let me look up on YouTube what her name is. She's been giving me a lot of good tips. This is where I learned to get this eyebrow pencil because the Anastasia Beverly Hills ones is expensive. Like I said, I only like to spend my money on skincare and complexion products. mainly because drugstore does not hold products that have my shade. So I have to go to high end like Fenty Beauty, and this matches me really good as well. And so does the Hourglass foundation. These are the top 3 foundation shades that match me. Juicy Joss or Juicy Haas, she is the one that has been showing me the brows, how to do brows, how to carve them, and this product, it's so good. I really do like it. It's just as good as the Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I'm just gonna take my Real Technique sponge to blend all this out. So start off here. And I'm going to carve my brows, I think. And I just do very natural looking makeup. Sometimes I do like a really glam look. I'm just gonna take this, see how they carve. So take this. So far it's blending very well. And this is with a brush, so, and I'm gonna go over it with a sponge. And I just put it on the back of my hand. So, I need to get rid of that right there. It's a little embarrassing. So far, I'm trying to figure out if it's full coverage. See how it blends this little guy. I'd say that's full. I think it's a medium. Yeah, I'd say that's medium coverage. Yeah. Definitely medium. I think it's buildable full, but I've had fuller coverage concealers. This is kind of like a dupe for the Fenty concealer, and the color shade is pretty similar because I use shade 100 in the concealers. It's a great highlight shade for me. Okay, so there's that. Now I am going to powder because I live in Texas, it's very humid here. For under eyes, I use, where is it? I use the Fenty Beauty loose powder in the shade Lavender. I've probably gone through about 8 of these, and that's not a joke. So I'm just gonna take my sponge, and I am just going to press this in. I do not bake, just to set. Oh, and then I'm going to do just the highlighted areas. That's all I powder. And then if the foundation is very dewy, like the Fenty foundation, because sometimes it's too dewy for me, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills powder in vanilla. Or I have the Laura Mercier as well. So, do I need to powder more? I might, you know what? I think I'm gonna take a brush and lightly powder, just lightly. And I mean, it's very light powder, like that much. Not a ton. And then just to make sure everything's dewy, because that's a little too matte, I take my Smashbox primer water and I'm going to do that and just press that in, and it brings the dewiness back, but it doesn't take away the setting part, nothing like that. Oh my god, that took off. That never happens, you guys. That doesn't happen to me. I do this almost every time, and I've used the spray many times to do this. with several different foundations. I've done the NARS foundation with it. I have done the Hourglass foundation with it. I have done Fenty with it. It has not done this, where it's taken it off. That's not good. And also it came off on my nose way before. My nose was already having trouble keeping the product on. As you could see, that's why I put so much powder on my nose. Okay. I'm just gonna let that dry down. It fixed it, but that, I have never had that happen. And I've also used the Urban Decay primer spray, the green bottle. It smells like coconuts. I've used that every single time in my foundation routine. I do that every time, and it never ever does that. So that, I think, is this foundation and concealer. I can't imagine it's the primer spray, because it never has done that before. Now I'm going to do my eyes. I'm just gonna put on some mascara, but I'm going to not include that part. I'll show you what mascara I'm using. I'm using the NARS mascara and the Climax mascara. It's just a little sample and it's great. I love it so much. So I'm gonna use that. And I normally don't use high-end, but they gave this to me for free. So I was like, sure, why not? Ulta did. So I will be right back. What the fuck is happening? I don't like how that's made. So I was just putting on my blush. I'm using the NARS Dulce Vita blush. I was just putting this on, and I'm not liking the way it's applying. See how that's like, it never does that. That's a little weird. So I'm just gonna take some powder and tone this down. It just never does that. There's a lot of products I'm finding that don't mesh well when I put this on with it. See how it's rubbing off right there? So it just keeps rubbing, like the products are not mixing well with this foundation. So that I don't like. And I'm just dipping it once. Yeah, I don't like how it's a little better on this side, but I only dipped it once on this side and it did that. Yeah, I don't like how other products lay on this. I don't like how it's doing it. They're just not mixing well. On its own, the foundation is great, but like with other things, like with blush, with powder, with that primer spray, it's not good. So let me see how the highlighter does. I'm doing the Milani highlighter in the shade 01 Afterglow Luminescence Nocturne. It's a beautiful highlight shade. And I am taking this Sephora brush in Pro Airbrush number 55. So I just take this and I put it on the apples of my cheeks because I like a dewy glow. I love glowy, dewy skin, like a wet look almost. Put it on the high parts of my cheeks. And then the apple, or not the apple, the point of my nose. So that didn't do terrible. It still separated a bit right here. And you guys, the skin prep, everything, I do that every single time I do my makeup, and I know it's the foundation and the concealer that's making it separate and do that. So that's a guarantee. And then the final step is lipstick. And I'm just going to take this Maybelline lipstick in 055 Taupe Seduction. And it just looks like this. It's like a lip butter. So there is the finished product. I normally spray some setting spray, but I'm scared. Let me get another setting spray real quick and see what that does. Okay, so here's what I was talking about earlier. I normally use the Urban Decay Quick Fix setting spray before I found the Smashbox setting spray, and this I need to buy more of because I do like it. It smells really good. I like summer smells. If you can't tell, like that to me smells like summer too. Now this smells like lavender. This is the Mario Badescu setting spray that I do really love as well, and it's lavender. So let's use this to set. So let me get my fan. So I'm not seeing any. I'm gonna take my sponge again. I'm just gonna do what I always do and just press the product in. It's not separating as badly, but it was separating before that. Before I put the Smashbox, it was separating on my nose really badly. So we'll just see how the product wears throughout the night. I'll give you an update right now. It is currently 10:30 on the dot. So I will update y'all in like an hour and just see where we're at. So, oh, and let me shut off the lights or turn them down really low because you can barely see me at all when I turn them off. So here's where we're at without the beauty lights, or like the beauty lights set on the lowest setting. Oh my God, my hair. So the beauty lights are set on the lowest setting. Sorry, these are stretch marks from when I was on steroids with my Crohn's disease, and I gained about 40 pounds in 2 weeks. So yeah, stretched my skin, and yes, it did hurt. It doesn't hurt now though. I get asked that question all the time if my stretch marks still hurt. They don't, but it did really hurt when they came in. And now I weigh 90 pounds. I weighed 80 pounds and was in the hospital on a feeding tube for the longest time because I'll do a whole video on all that. So here's the final look without all the crazy beauty lights. They're set on low. I'll put them on a high again. And I really do like the finish. I think my makeup looks really good, but it's just separating and it did not coincide well with the other products. So let's turn this back up. And here we are again. So I love the dewy finish. This is my favorite type of finish, how dewy it looks and how it looks like I have like a light sheen to my face. So yeah, but I'll check in an hour or so. I'll check in every hour and let y'all know how I'm liking the product. And yeah, so I will update y'all later. Bye. Okay, y'all, so it is 12:51. So I know I said I check in every hour, but it's been 2.5 hours. And so I'm going to show you up close. So it's separating really badly on my nose, as you can see, and I still feel like it's becoming really textured here, and that just normally doesn't happen. And all of my, it's separating really badly here too. And it's separating here. So it's definitely not long lasting. I would not say the longevity is good, but it's still separating here. Like that patch right there. It's separating here. Yeah, it just looks super textured. And my mascara is starting to rub off here. And it's creasing really bad. The concealer, that normally doesn't happen. So I'm not liking this foundation. It's only been 2.5 hours and it looks like this, and I haven't been outside in the Texas heat. It's nighttime. I could not imagine me being out in the sun and being in the Texas heat. I'll do one more update after this, and then I think I'm gonna call it. And I don't think I am going to be using this foundation or the concealer a ton, because the concealer, like, look at how bad that's creasing right there.
Send it back?
Huh?
Would I let you send it back?
So I'm just not liking it at all. It's just not my favorite. I really liked the finish at first, but that's not enough for me to keep it, especially if it's not going to wear well. And I don't have oily skin. I have very dry skin. And like I said, I use all of those products every single day. All the skincare, all the prep, all of the blush, highlighter, I use them every single day in my routine. And this does not happen normally. And I've literally just been sitting here editing the footage that I've already done. I've just got to edit this clip and the last one. And that's all I've done is sit and do that. So it's not like I have been running around. If I had been running around doing stuff, if I had been outside this would not even be on my face anymore. It would be completely off. So, and I powdered and everything.
Very humid out there today.
Yeah, it's super humid in Texas right now. All it's done is rain and have thunderstorms, so the humidity is insane. So I just am not gonna be able to wear this foundation at all. So I will just update y'all in an hour and be done. So bye. Oh, stop there. Oh my God. Okay, y'all. So it is 2:10. Sorry, my brother texted my mom. It's 2:10 in the morning, and I'm gonna go ahead and take off this makeup. I'm going to give y'all my final thoughts and opinions. So it's broken down even more, as you can see, and the texture around my skin is just bad. Then the mascara is so bad. The creasing's horrible. That's starting to break there. Around my forehead, it looks super dry, and it just I don't know, I just don't like it at all. Around here, you can tell it's broken down. You can see all of my blemishes. This is worse. That's starting to peek through. It's breaking down there. So I don't like it. That's the final thoughts, the concealer and the foundation. I just don't like it at all. I would say if I had to rate the foundation, I'd give it a 4 out of 10. I liked the finish at first when I first put it on, and when it was all laid and everything, it was really nice, and I thought I was going to give it a really good rating, and I thought that the review was going to be good, but I just don't like it. And I put it on, like, I know I said at 10:30 was the time I showed y'all, but I had the foundation on at that point for like half an hour. So I would say, I'd say like 10 o'clock is when I put it on, and now it's 2:30. So it's only been 4.5 hours that I've had this foundation on. I could not imagine keeping it on longer with all of the breaking down that's happening around my nose, forehead. I would say my forehead, my nose, my chin, and my upper lip is the worst. And then the texture that's happening here. Like, let's turn the lights down and see what's going on. Yeah, it's just not good. It's just not. And it makes me sad because the match is really good on my skin. But everything else, like even like all that on my eye, like, oh my God, I didn't even notice that. That's awful. And this mascara, I've worn it forever. It doesn't do this normally. It doesn't bleed like this. Yeah. And you can see it's so textured here, and that normally doesn't happen. And then even on my neck, I covered up that little pimple, and it's peeking through. So yeah, I don't know what. It's just not my favorite foundation, but that's okay. We're gonna try a lot more. I just ordered a lot more off of Ulta, their drugstore though, so it was a lot cheaper. I know I said I don't really wear a lot of drugstore foundations because they don't have my shade, but I found several drugstore foundations that had like lighter shades online than they do in store, so I'm going to test them. I got Maybelline Superstay, I got Maybelline Fit Me Dewy, I got Maybelline, I got Revlon Colorstay foundation, I got several foundations. Oh, I got the Milani Scream Queen foundation, so we're gonna test those. And yeah, but that's it for this video. I hope y'all enjoy it. Subscribe if you want to see more of those videos. I'm also going to be doing NARS, testing that. I'm going to be testing the Too Faced foundation. There's a lot more that's going to be coming. And then the Hourglass Vanishing Stick is going to be a review that I'll do. And yeah, the Milani 2-in-1 foundation I'll do. There'll be several. Okay, I'm going to end the video because my parents are in here and my mom she started a whole trail of domino effects, and it's just, but she's also been sleep talking during this whole video, so are we shocked? No. But subscribe to see all those videos coming up, and also I have reading vlogs coming up, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.